Hi, hi, hi! Welcome to day 2 of March Madness. Today I am revisiting Throwback Thursday. Yay! This was a suggestion by one of my lovely viewers. They suggested that I use brads. Now, I don't have very many brads in my stash, so all I could find in my stash were some old Tim Holtz brads, some number ones, and some that I think must have been for epoxy stickers or something. I'm not sure, I don't even know where they came from. And some Basil Basics black brads. So that's all I had. So I'm using my London kit by Felicity Jane, because I couldn't wait to break into it, and this beautiful, beautiful cut file is by Paper Issues. So I'm just backing this cut file onto this beautiful blue polka dot paper from the Felicity Jane kit. And if you haven't visited Paper Issues for their cut files, do. They are amazing, and they offer them for free, which is genuinely just awesome of them, because they're just beautiful. I love them. Anywho, I'm taking this grid paper, also from the London kit, and I'm going to back it onto this yellow kit. And if you are of a sensitive disposition, you might want to look away now, because I'm backing it onto an entire piece of paper. I know, I never do this. I don't know why I didn't gut the paper first, but I didn't, and look at how much paper I've used on one layout. That's like 3 whole sheets. Who even am I? So off camera there, I've stitched around the circle and around the grid paper, just to give it a nice bit of texture and also to keep it secure. So I'm going through these brads now. You can see these must have been in my stash forever, because I haven't even opened them. I really don't remember buying these Tim Holtzy ones. I presume they were for some sort of epoxy sticker, because they've got like what's the word? A sort of dip in them, of where I guess you would put a sticker and an epoxy overlay, but I don't have the epoxy overlay anymore. I don't know whether they yellowed and I threw them out or what. I really don't remember. But that's all the brads I have, so I'm going to have to use them anyway. So I'm just playing around with the ephemera that came in the pack. Sorry, it's not ephemera that came in the pack. It's the cut aparts. I have cut them apart, and I'm struggling to get my camera to focus in on this teeny tiny heart sticker that came in the cut aparts. And I have 3 of those, and I'm going to use those in the Tim Holtz brads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some foam, and I'm going to insert the brads through the foam. I'm going to stick the stickers onto the brads directly with some glossy accents, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the glossy accents over. The glossy accents will dry clear, and it will also dry domed. It will have dimension, and it will work exactly the same way as an epoxy sticker would. And that's all I had in my stash, so I had to be a little more inventive, but it works pretty well. So I'm just going to finish up with the glossy accents there, and then I'm going to set those aside to dry and carry on with the rest of my layout. I will say I left these to dry for, I think it was about 3 hours in the end, and then they were okay to touch, enough to pop them onto the layout, but I didn't touch the epoxy part. I left that to cure for 24 hours before I touched it, but it's perfectly touchable now. So again, I'm just going through the cutter parts. I think these ones actually came as part of the subscriber printables. I want to say that that's where they came from. I might be making it up, but I'm pretty sure they were part of the subscriber printables. Try saying that. Jeez, that was tricky. So I'm just layering them up. I'm not going to do too much layering behind this photo. I'm mostly just playing around with these little bits of scraps. I don't feel like it needs tons behind it. And mostly because I don't want to cover up this really pretty cut file. It's so cute that I just want to stick with it and have that as being a really good focal point and not cover it all up with paper. So I think I'm quite happy with those layers. I'm going to have another quick look through the cut parts. and there was nothing else I wanted to use, so I'm going to go ahead and back this onto some vellum so that I can have some lovely texture and layers without actually distracting from the cut file. Goodness me, so many things that start with cut and I'm getting them all confused with each other. As you do. It's a good start, isn't it? I'm going to staple this tab on because I'd glued it originally with just some double-sided adhesive, but it just wasn't. It was a bit floopy, which was annoying me. So I thought I'd just staple it on instead. I love the added texture that staples bring anyway, so I'm always happy to staple things. I'm just using my nail here to scuff up the edges of these papers and give them all a separate, I guess, identity from one another. I think if you scuff them up, it brings them apart from each other and adds some really nice texture, but also it makes them really visible that they are layers. Sometimes when you don't scuff up the edges, I find they sort of blend into one another a little bit, especially when you're not doing too much paper layering behind your photo. So again, I'm just playing around with some of the cut parts, and I think I'm going to leave it there around my photo. And I'm going to go ahead and look through the chipboard. We got these beautiful sort of, they're chipboard, but they're sort of smooth, like almost like they've been coated in plastic. It's a really interesting coating. I really like it. But we got these triangles in this kit anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and use a few of those just to bring the eye into the photo. And now I'm going to play around with my brads. Now I think, oh no, I'm not. I'm going to commit to sticking things down instead. What a liar. What a liar I am. With the brads, I decided I was going to use them kind of like enamel dots. I was going to just scatter them around in little clusters, exactly the same way as I would an enamel dot. I know back in the day when I was actually scrapbooking and using brads, that's not how I used them then. And I'll be honest, when brads came up as my Throwback Thursday, I did think about doing something more interactive and using them to maybe hold a pinwheel or something like that, to add an interactive element to the page. But then I thought, I like interactive elements, but once they're on the page and then you've got it in your album, it's kind of a pointless thing because you're not interacting with it once it's in a page protector. So I decided to just go ahead and keep it simple and use them as sort of like enamel dots. So I'm playing around with this beautiful gingham heart, which I really like, but I decided that I actually quite like the hearts in the cut file being exactly as they are. Really plain, but really beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and use the alphas that came in the kit to spell out dude. And I'm going to use some Tim Holtz, the typeset alphas, to spell out little as well. And it's just my title is just going to be Happy Little Dude, which he is. He's eternally happy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my craft knife to cut through the papers, just purely because that's a layer of 3 different scrapbook papers at this point, so my brads would not just poke through. So I'm going to use my craft knife to cut through and then just poke them through, just so that I can place them where I want them. I quite like the how dark the black is against how pastel the layout is. I think it adds a really nice sort of interesting element to it. So I've gone ahead and added the 3 black ones, and now I've found some little brads that are the same but smaller as the ones I'd originally used and have set aside to dry. So what I thought is I'm going to use those, and I'm going to use obviously the big ones that are now drying, but because I don't know where I want to use them, I've just found some extra ones of the big ones. I'm going to insert the big ones into my layout so that I can double check where I want them to be. But first I'm going to change up these little ones. Now I don't have any stickers small enough to use, so I'm going to use white embossing powder to make them white, and it'll be a lovely white sort of textured and it'll go almost like an enamel, you know, like bath enamel or sink enamel, and they look really pretty. If I can get my camera to focus in on them. Go on, focus. Oh, there we go. They're really textured and fun. So I'm going to do that to all 3 of them, and have these little white brads as well. So then you can see there where I've placed the larger brads. That's where the ones that I've added stickers to will go once they're dry. So now I've pulled out one of the number brads that I had. I've pulled out a number 3 because he is 3. I'm going to go ahead and add that right by where that heart is, up in the upper left corner of my photo. So I'm just using my craft knife there to pierce it through again. They don't tend to like piercing through unless you've pre-made a hole, or at least that's my experience anyway. So I'm just gonna, oh, I'm back and they're dry. I knew I was going to leave it to let them dry at that point, but I've let them dry. They're now dry, and I've added them into my layout. I've also added a few enamel dots, I think just 3 in the same colours, very tiny ones, into the clusters of brads, just so that each cluster is an odd number rather than just being 2. So I'm going to use some beautiful word stickers from Flutterby Designs. These are so funny, but if you don't like swearing, you probably won't like them. But I'm okay with swearing. But so they don't mind. I quite like them. I think they're really funny. But don't worry, I haven't put swears on this layout. I wouldn't do that. I'll save the swears for my planner or something. But they're lovely, lovely phrase stickers. I think that's it with this layout. I don't think I do too much more to it at all. Oh no, I want to add another sticker into that tab there because it's blank. But that's about it. So don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you like this video. Definitely don't forget to watch again tomorrow, and I will be back again tomorrow with the next layout. See you then. Bye.